What if I told you that behind the walls of some of the world's most secure prisons are billionaires? Yes, billionaires trading their luxury lifestyles for jumpsuits and cell blocks. These aren't just business tycoons or celebrities who made a mistake. These are individuals who built empires, flew on private jets, and dined with presidents now eating prison food and staring at concrete walls. How did they fall so far from grace? And what crimes were so severe that not even billions could keep them free? This video explores the cases of these individuals, detailing their offenses, convictions, and current statuses. Sean Diddy Combs. Sean Diddy Combs' reputation has dropped sharply since he was once seen as a business giant and culture icon. Combs was arrested and held at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center in 2024 on serious charges of sexual assault, racketeering, and trafficking in women. While he is waiting for his trial, his name has been linked to a lot of cases and bad news stories that paint a dark picture of his double life. There was a new civil lawsuit in April 2025 that said Combs planned a horrible freak-off party in 2015. The lawsuit that Joseph Manzaro filed says that Combs not only organized the meeting, but also pushed people to perform sexual acts. In one shocking case, Manzaro says he was forced to wear a penis mask and was then carried around while famous people like Beyonce, Jay-Z, and LeBron James looked on in shock. Even though his lawyers keep denying all charges, calling them meritless money grabs, the many cases and testimonies point to a very bad situation. Diddy's trial is set for May 2025, and it could be one of the most important famous criminal cases of the decade. Bill Hwang. As the head of Archegos Capital Management, Bill Hwang used to handle billions of dollars without anyone knowing until everything went wrong. Archegos went bankrupt in a big way in 2021 after betting a lot of money on a few stocks. Because of this domino effect, big banks like Credit Suisse, Nomura, and Morgan Stanley lost more than $10 billion. Hwang was caught in 2022 and charged with securities fraud, wire fraud, and racketeering plot. The Department of Justice said he manipulated the markets with stolen money and lied about how healthy his portfolio was. Some people said it was the biggest trading scam since Bernie Madoff because of how big the fraud was. Hwang was given 18 years in federal prison in November 2024. The prosecutors wanted a 21-year sentence and money to be paid back. Even though the judge hasn't decided on the fines yet, Hwang's reputation as a quiet financial genius has been ruined, and he hasn't had his freedom in almost 20 years. Allen Stanford. Texas billionaire and financier Robert Allen Stanford is serving one of the longest white-collar terms in U.S. history. Stanford was found guilty in 2012 of running a huge $8 billion Ponzi scheme through Stanford International Bank. He used to be praised for his luxury lifestyle and cricket sponsorships. Stanford told people that certificates of deposit, CDs, would give them high returns, but they didn't. Investors, such as seniors and small business owners, lost a lot of money. Stanford was given a sentence of 110 years in jail after a trial that showed a complex web of lies. Stanford has been sent to Coleman II, a high-security federal jail in Florida. His release date is set for 2103, a cruel joke for a man in his 70s. The once billionaire's assets were sold, and he will always be remembered as an example of greed that can't be stopped. Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Holmes' rise and fall is the stuff of tech lore. She was once on magazine covers and hailed as the next Steve Jobs. She said that her company, Theranos, would change the way healthcare was done by making a gadget that could use just a drop of blood to do hundreds of tests. The tech didn't work, though. Holmes lied to banks, regulators, and patients all at the same time. When the house of cards fell apart in 2018, she was charged with a crime. She was found guilty of 4 counts of fraud and conspiracy in 2022 and given an 11-year prison term. She started her time in 2023 and is now in FPC Bryan in Texas, where she was sent. Holmes was also told to pay $452 million in reparations, which is a huge fine that she might never be able to fully pay. People are still interested in her, and her story has been told in books, films, and TV shows, but she is no longer a billionaire. John Kapoor. There are many bad people involved in the opioid crisis in the United States. John Kapoor, founder of Insys Therapeutics, is one of the few who is truly in jail. Kapoor was found guilty of paying doctors to give an extremely addicting fentanyl spray called Subsys when it wasn't medically necessary. Kapoor was given a 5.5-year sentence in 2020, making him the first pharmaceutical executive to be found guilty of contributing to the opioid crisis. He was given home confinement in 2023 and finished his term by the end of that year. However, his case set a strong example. Business leaders could be charged with crimes for their part in the public health disasters. The Netflix movie Pain Hustlers was based on Kapoor's story and brought more attention to the scandal. Thomas Kwok. Thomas Kwok, who used to be one of Asia's richest men and co-chairman of Sun Hung Kai Properties, was given a 5-year prison term for bribery in 2014. He was found guilty of giving Rafael Hui, Hong Kong's former chief secretary, $8.5 million in return for getting his way in government decisions. Kwok's arrest was one of the most well-known cases of crime in Hong Kong's history. He did time for more than 3 years and was freed in 2019. Even though he is in jail, Kwok has kept a lot of his money. As of 2025, his net worth was $1.9 billion. Raj Rajaratnam. Raj Rajaratnam ran Galleon Group, which was one of the biggest hedge funds in the US. He was once worth more than $1 billion. He was arrested for secret trading in 2009 and later found guilty on 14 counts. His trial showed that Wall Street's upper class did a lot of illegal deals and shared information with each other. Rajaratnam was given an 11-year prison term and a huge fine in 2011. His case was a turning point in how the SEC went after financial crimes. He was given home confinement in 2019 and finished his term in 2021. This was possible because of the First Step Act, which lets some nonviolent offenders get out of jail early. Rajaratnam's name is still linked to Wall Street crime, even though he is no longer in jail. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Thanks to being in charge of the Sinaloa cartel, Joaquin Guzman Loera, also known as El Chapo, was one of the richest and most powerful people in the world. He wasn't a typical businessman, though. Forbes put him on their list of billionaires for years because of his drug business until the law caught up with him. He got out of jail in Mexico several times before he was finally extradited to the US. In 2019, he was found guilty of drug trafficking, money laundering, and running a criminal business. He is now in ADX Florence, the Alcatraz of the Rockies, in the safest jail in the US, serving a life sentence plus 30 years. How much money did El Chapo have at his peak? More than $1 billion. His sentence for forfeiture was $12.6 billion all by itself. S. Curtis Johnson. S.C. Johnson is the heir to a lot of money and is known for making brands like Windex and Ziploc. In 2011, he was charged with sexually assaulting his granddaughter over a period of years, which shocked the public. After a long court case, Johnson took a plea deal in 2014 that got him charged with less serious crimes. The public was furious that he was treated so lightly because he only spent 3 months in jail and paid a $6,000 fine. Some people said that his money and ties may have led to the shorter sentence. Johnson still has a net worth of about $4.5 billion in 2025, even after the incident. Even though money can buy great lawyers and public relations campaigns, it doesn't mean someone is safe from justice. This is especially true when there is a lot of proof or a lot of public outrage. Even though they had huge riches, these billionaires were locked up and chained for crimes like Wall Street fraud, sexual abuse, and drug trafficking. It's rare for the very rich to be held responsible in a world where inequality is still very high, but it's not impossible. People have different opinions about these punishments. Some say they don't go far enough, while others see them as proof that even the most powerful people can be charged and sentenced. Leave your ideas in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more related content.